Hey, everyone. Hey, everybody. Right now, I am getting set up on Instagram. And yeah, so it's late night, guys. I'm actually about to go and work out soon. But, and I wanted to, it was my intention to go live a little bit earlier. But one of the things that I've been doing is really focus on spending time with my family. So that means like after 5 o'clock, I've been trying to do my best to put my phone up, because that's when my kids are home. When my husband's home from out of town, that's when he's home. So tonight we went out to dinner. Afterwards we watched some shows together or whatnot, and just spent some time together as a family. So I wanted to go live a little bit earlier, but hey, we're here at 11 o'clock at night on the East Coast, and we are going to get it in. So, good evening to everyone. Hey, Jen. Good evening to everyone. Go ahead and share this out. And some of you all just may catch the replay in the morning. So, yeah, I'm decked out back in my hoodies and everything right now because it's 11:10 on the East Coast at the time of this, at the time that I'm going live. Okay, so I wanted to come on to share 3 reasons why I stopped selling programs for $2,000. And I think that this is a conversation that needs to be had. Okay, especially for those of you all who want to coach. Hold on, guys. I need to change the location of my phone tripod. So give me a second. All right. And I see people coming in on Facebook. All right, there we go. So I have I've got Instagram right here and Facebook right here instead of over here and over there, right? Okay. So good evening, guys. My name is Jasmine Womack. I am the Six-Figure Storyteller. My clients call me the Harriet Tubman of Publishing, and I work with corporate professionals who desire to package their expertise and their experiences using a book. So what this means is that when you have invested time, sweat, blood, and tears into your education, into your degrees, into your career, moving up the corporate ladder, so to speak, and you get to a point where you feel like, you know what, I'm doing all of this, I'm leading, I'm the person that they call on, but I still don't have, I'm still not making the income to show for the value that I bring to the place. I still don't have the time freedom, that I should have for the value that I bring here. I still am living unfulfilled. I still am not fully fulfilled in what I'm doing. And I need to make what I'm doing. I need to make my degrees. I need to make my experience work for me. Those are the people that I work with. And so what I help you to do is take your experiences and take your professional expertise and package it into a book so that you can actually build a credible high-end brand, a high-end coaching and a high-end coaching business. All right, so I help you to be seen as the leader and as the authority that you are. So I have been able to do this for myself. For those of you all who don't know, I'm a former educator. I was a middle school educator for 12 years. I did it all. I went through college. I got the bachelor's, the master's, the specialist degree. I was one step away from the doctorate. I was the department chair. I was the team lead. I did all of the things. I helped to, come up to the school in the summers to write the curriculums. I helped to train the staff, when it came to, writing assessments and everything. And for everything that I did and for all of my, everything that I brought to the table, I still didn't want to have to, and I know that it's what you have to do, but I wanted to be a mom. So I didn't want to have to give an explanation every time that my kids were sick and I needed to take them to the doctor. I didn't want to have to, do some of the things that were required or that I was expected to do, in leadership. In leadership, I had to go to meetings after work, which means that as a mom, as a mom whose husband traveled for work, I had to drive across town, pick my kids up, drive back across town to attend the meetings with my kids. It was crazy. And I said, you know what? I need to make this work for me on my terms, so I'm not running around like a chicken with my like a chicken with my head cut off. I need to make this work for me on my terms so that I can actually, be the professional, create impact, make the difference that I want to make, but still be the wife and mom that I desire to be without having to stress myself out. Losing weight, not losing weight, gaining weight, hair thinning, all of that stuff, and then still having to deal with the office politics on top of that. So I know how it is because I've been there. And so I've been able to, by the grace of God, by a lot of grace, work ethic and faith, take my professional experiences and expertise and build a multi-six-figure, we're going to hit the 7 figures this year, build a multi-six-figure business and help other people do the same, and I've helped them do it the same way that I did it, through writing a book, building their brand, and building a high-end speaking and coaching business. And that is what I do. And I take pride in that. And I'm walking in my purpose in life, just unquestionable. So tonight, I'm talking about 3 reasons why I stopped selling $2,000 programs. And for me, this was pivotal because coming from education, coming from a profession in which I got paid once per month, anywhere from $1,500 per month to $3,500 per month, depending on what year you ask me, I had some money mindset issues when I started, when I really started in the online space of my business. I had some real money mindset issues. I was scared to charge. I was scared to pay. I was scared to do any of that. And so I really want to share why I actually began to shift, and what the shift meant for me, but even more so what the shift meant for my clients and the results that my clients were able to get as a result of. Okay. So yes, when I first started out, I wasn't selling programs. I was actually selling challenges and different master classes. And I had a membership program that was like maybe $25 a month. That's where I started. In my very first year in business. My second year in business, I went up to charging a couple of $100, like around $700 for a program. I would, I think I went up to $99 a month for my membership. And then I was also offering services. So it was around the second year of my business where I actually changed the prices of my services, and I went from offering services, and services mean I'm doing something for somebody. So I went from offering services, charging like maybe $997 to anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000 at that time. When I closed out my service-based business, when I closed down my agency and I went full-time into coaching, that's when I actually began to raise my prices. I began to invest in myself on a higher 5-figure level. And I began to make adjustments to my programs and adjustments to my prices accordingly. Okay. So I want to talk about, that process, what it looked like, why I did it, and why I stopped selling programs for $2,000. So a lot of people may refer to me in the online space as a book coach. I absolutely loathe that term. Author coach, book coach, I absolutely loathe that term because I do so much more than teach books. All right. So I'm actually a writing consultant, and I help you to write your book and build your online brand and business. And so one of the things that I noticed is that many so-called author coaches sell their programs for $2,000 or less. I did not want to get tied in with the average online author coach who really wasn't a professional at what they did. It was just something that they decided to do because they felt like they could make some money from it. And not only were they just kind of doing the basic job, they were going to places like Fiverr to get every single thing done. So not only was it a subpar, client experience, but it was also a subpar product that generally it looked cheap. I didn't want to do that for my clients, and I didn't want to get caught up or mixed in with that batch of coaches. So one of the ways that I chose to set myself apart, honestly, was through pricing. Because with a certain level of pricing, I had to provide a certain level of experience. So I decided to go against the grain a little bit, and I actually began to charge more. And I'm actually about to increase my prices, and this is why. So I'm going to give you guys 3 reasons, and if you are a coach, these reasons may work for you too. If you're already in my programs and you're watching this, you will learn this in phase 3 coaching currency. So number 1, I had to count the return that my clients were getting for the rest of their lives. So I would have clients come in with absolutely nothing, literally absolutely nothing written. All they would have was an idea. And in 6 weeks, in 8 weeks, they would leave not only with the book, they would leave with an entire infrastructure created. They would leave with an entire email marketing system. They would leave with knowledge of how to work the online space. They would leave with their social media profiles optimized. They would leave with thousands of dollars in book sales and other opportunities as well, whether it was media appearances, speaking engagements, corporate contracts, so on and so forth. And especially after this past year, where I had several of my clients come in with absolutely nothing but an idea. And 8 weeks after working with me, they were having 5 and 6 figure quarters. There's no way, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're counting the return on investment for the rest of somebody's life, the price has to be equitable to that. Does that make sense? So let's break it down in book sales, okay? So if you come to work with me, or if you come into my program, all right, and you make the investment, which is a high 4-figure investment. I'm not cheap to work with. It's a high 4-figure investment, okay? And you come in and you leave out with having struggled maybe for 5 or 10 years to write your book. You leave out with your book written in a couple of days or weeks, depending on which track you choose, okay? So that's out the way. You struggled with that for years. You've gotten that out the way. You publish it within another couple of weeks. That's out the way. So you don't have to try to figure out what to do after you've written it. All of it's laid out for you. All of the systems, step by step, right? All that's out the way. Then you go into marketing, where you're actually optimizing your social profile. You're learning how to brand yourself. You're learning how to grow your social media with the Instagram for Authors Toolkit and the other resources that I have. You're learning how to build your email list, okay? And then on top of that, you're learning how to get visibility and get coaching clients. That's just one track, right? But now let's look at book sales. Let's look at book sales. If you, after all that's done, and you leave with a book and a coaching program and a brand, you are pricing your book for anywhere from $20 to $25. Say you're pricing it at $20 a book, right? If you sell 50 books, that's $1,000 in a month. Now you might feel like, well, I don't have a brand, I can't sell 50 books. But if you use the brand building techniques that I teach, if you use the brand creation techniques that I teach, you can sell 50 books easily, and not just to friends and family. So 50 books is $1,000. If you set a goal to simply sell 50 books per month, over the course of 12 months, how much have you made? You made an extra $12,000. You've added an extra $12,000 to your bottom line from book sales only. Have you or have you not recouped the cost of your investment? That's on the slow end. That's just on selling books. Now, if you push it a little bit, you said, okay, I'm going to sell 100 books a month, which is easy, especially in the online space. And if you're offering your book digitally, $100 books per month is $2,000. If you sell 100 books, if you set a goal and you go hard to sell 100 books per month for 6 months, in 6 months, you made $12,000 just from book sales. Just from book sales. I don't know about you guys, but when my kids were in daycare, an extra $2,000 took care of daycare. It took care of extracurricular activities. It took care of all that extra stuff that I was paying for out of my check. Am I telling the truth or am I not telling the truth? For those of you all who don't have children, that's extra money that you can put into your business or extra money that you can put to the side and invest and have it grow passively. Does this make sense? Y'all are quiet. Y'all are quiet watching me on Facebook. Y'all just watching, but y'all ain't responding. Same for y'all Instagram. So if you sell 100 books a month at $20 a piece, that's $2,000 per month. If you're doing the things that you're supposed to do, such as speaking, you're going live, you're doing your podcast, you're increasing your visibility, and that 100 books per month is going to be a breeze. $2,000, an extra $2,000 per month. At the end of 6 months, you've added an additional $12,000 to your bottom line. Talk about a year, that's an extra $24,000 to your bottom line if you set your sales goal and you stick to it. That's not including speaking engagements. That's not including anything that you make from your coaching clients that you'd be charging a minimum of $1,000 to $1,500 to coach. A minimum on the low end. That's not even including that. That's just book sales. That's not contracts. That's not speaking. That's not digital products. That's not anything. That's not coaching clients. Just book sales. When I realized the type of return that I was setting my clients up to have for the rest of their lives, and the type of return that they were having after working with me, I was like, oh, of course. The work that I'm doing is worth way more than $2,000 because you're going to 100x that over the next 12, 24 to 48 months. Does this make sense? So when we're pricing, we can't price for what we think people can pay. We have to price for the value that we're offering. It's the truth. What's the value of your product or service over the lifetime of it? Okay. Now, the thing about it is that I know some of you guys are hearing this and you're going to hear this, and it sounds inspirational, but the real kicker is that a lot of people don't think that it can happen for them. And as long as you have a lack of confidence to say, you know what, that sounds great, that's inspirational, that's great to listen to, but I'm not sure that that's going to work for me. You're always going to stay in the same place. The first thing that you have to do is shift your mindset and actually increase your confidence to believe that not only it can happen for you, but it will happen for you if you connect yourself to the right people and you put yourself in the right environments and you actually execute and implement the strategies that you learn. If you come in and you get everything handed to you on a silver platter, but you sit there and you allow overthinking to overtake you, you allow procrastination to overtake you, you get inside your head and you just, are just too scared to put yourself out there, then of course you're not going to see the results. But if you're like, listen, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it and I don't care who got what to say about it. I'm going to go for it and I don't care about who thinks what kind of opinions people have. I'm going to go for it because I know that I'm fulfilling my purpose. I know that there are people out there who need to hear this message. And it's my job to get out there and speak and spread it. As long as you take that stance and not the fear stance, you will be successful. Okay? So one of the things I had to do is that I had to count the return that clients were getting, not just one time, but for the rest of their lives. After working with me, you have a physical product that you will literally have for the rest of your life. Number one was return. Number two was the value. So I know a lot of my clients who come to me, they've been struggling to write their books for years. A lot of them they'll say, okay, I got a coaching program, but you don't have any clients. And if you don't have any clients, you really don't have a coaching program. You got something you call a coaching program, but you need clients to actually have a legitimate coaching program. Some people who pay you on a consistent basis. You need to have testimonials. You need to be able to have, to show that you actually have people that you're working with and show that you can get a result with the strategies that you say that you provide. So the second thing that I do is that I looked at the value that I was providing. Most of my clients come to me because they've been struggling for years. Make no doubt about it. I work with a lot of attorneys. I work with a lot of doctors. I work with a lot of therapists. I work with a lot of professionals, like very ambitious, highly driven individuals. And because of that, there's a spirit of perfectionism that tends to get in the way of their progress. And so what happens is that when they're writing their books, they begin overthinking it. They begin wondering if anybody's going to actually read it. They begin trying to edit it as they write it, and they get stuck. However, when they come to me, they literally go, and I have so many testimonials. They go from struggling for 3 years or 5 years, or in some cases 10 or 15 years, to literally being able to write their book in a weekend. Literally being able to write their book in a matter of 12 days. Just because of the system and the process that I provide. Not the system and the process, but also the accountability and the check-in. Because not only inside of my programs, not only do we give you the strategy, but myself and my coaches, we provide the support, the coaching, and the guidance to let you know what you're doing right and where you're going wrong and what you need to improve to make sure that you stay on the proper track. So there's immediate time decrease. You've been struggling with something for 5-10 years, and now you're able to get it done in a matter of days and or weeks. I began to look at the value that my clients were getting, like the intangibles, such as they have increased confidence. They come in shy, feeling like they don't really offer a lot, to being able to speak on stages confidently and knowing the value that they bring. They come with, I began to look at the value that I provided. Again, this is number 2. They come with absolutely nothing but an idea, but then they leave with a tangible product that looks great. With marketing systems, they leave with a brand presence, a brand voice, and the ability to articulate what they bring to the marketplace. They have their marketing funnels intact, and they have their systems and strategies for visibility and for coaching. When previously they didn't have it at all, or it was all out of whack. I began to look at the value I provided. When you understand the value that you provide, you will stop giving your intellectual property away for pennies. And that's what I see people doing. Oh, this person over there is charging $9.97. This person over there is charging $97. This person over there is charging $2,000. But meanwhile, your clients are getting all these results, and you don't have anything to show for it. I said, absolutely not. The price is going up, and the price is actually about to go up again. Because if I can help you cut down your learning time, if I can help you create all of this in a matter of weeks, when previously you had absolutely no clue what to do, and when you leave, it keeps running, it keeps going. All you got to do is continue to show up. All you got to do is continue to generate traction. All you got to do is continue to generate leads. What is that worth? Definitely way more than $2,000. And then I had to think about what I invest in myself. I'm like, if I'm investing $10,000 into the coaching programs that I get into, if I'm investing $10,000, $20,000, and $30,000 into the programs that I get into, my clients still get the benefit of some of the advanced marketing strategies that I learned. I can't give my knowledge away for pennies, because like people invest in their education. And like even I invested in my education, I've also invested in my business and in my personal professional development on that same level. And I've been able, by the grace of God, to have fruits because of it. And my clients have too. So I think that when it comes to pricing, we have to be very careful not to lowball ourselves into doing what we think is going to be, quote unquote, the most affordable, without thinking about the value that somebody's going to get. Because affordable is relative to the person. What's affordable to one person might not be affordable to somebody else. What's considered where one person will only pay $2,000, another client won't even give it the time of day, because they know what they're getting and what they're not getting. So I think that when you're looking to invest in a program, and even for my coaches who are watching this, when you are trying to price your programs, you have to determine the overall value that you're bringing to the table, and how your program is literally changing someone's life. Not just how is their finances different, how is their business different, but how is their life different, and how are they different as a person. Does this make sense? Let me know if this makes sense, because y'all are quiet. And I think that especially when it comes to the Black community, let me just be very clear, when it comes to the Black community, we have a lot of money mindset issues. I have literally had another African American tell me, I've seen a Caucasian woman with a similar program as yours, and it was twice the amount. And I was willing to pay her, but I wasn't willing to pay you. And I was willing to pay her because she was white. I've had this said to me. I've had this said to my face by somebody who looked like me. And they said, I know that it's wrong, but they said it's conditioning. And they said, but I'm so glad I signed up with you because I got so much more. It's conditioning. We have conditioned ourselves. And I'm not going to even say we condition ourselves. A lot of it's been the way that we've been raised. A lot of it goes back to the money mindsets that we have as children, and the conversations that we've had about money. A lot of it has to do with how we've heard money talked about and referred to, in reference growing up. And so a lot of times we'll see the value in going to get a college degree more so than we see the value in actually investing in ourselves. And a lot of it's because with the college degree, we're dependent on the system, but when it comes to us, we're dependent on us. And this is where and this is what I talked about in Published and Paid, the live event on Friday. It's a mindset game, guys. You got to believe in yourself and in your own skills and ability, and in your ability to show up, to do the work, especially when you have the strategy and the support that you've been praying for. Definitely, Jen, on Instagram, definitely limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs all day. And as long as you allow limiting beliefs to keep you held back, you will stay trapped and on the same level that you've been on. Okay? The third reason why I stopped selling $2,000 programs is because of vision and legacy. Vision and legacy. I had to stop and think about, what do I want my business 5 to 10 years from now to look like? And are the actions that I'm taking now in alignment with that? Is the way that I'm doing things now in alignment with the vision that God has placed in me, or within the direction that God is telling me to go? Is what I'm doing now in alignment with that? One thing about selling something for $2,000 is that it's $2,000 and it can probably be more quote unquote affordable on a wider scale, but can you really afford to pay the people that you need? So in order to be able to hire a team and pay them every single month, I had to increase my prices. In order to be able to get the systems that I needed and also provide the level of client experience that I provide, I also had to increase my prices. And in order to decrease the amount of time that I'm working, because now I have help. It's not just me. Now, here's the thing. In business, we can't have the superwoman syndrome. We can't have the syndrome of, I'm going to do it all myself. I'm going to do everything myself. I don't need help from nobody. I ain't going to ask nobody for nothing because all they do is let you down. And if I don't do it, it's not going to get done right. If you have that type of attitude coming into business, you're going to fail. Or you're going to bottleneck yourself. You're not going to be as successful as you desire, because there's only going to be so much that you alone can do and that you alone can handle by yourself. So you have to get some help. Even if it's one person, you have to get some help. Even if it's somebody on a project basis to handle the tech setup for you so that you can address other aspects of the business. Like, you can't constantly and consistently work in the business and on it. In the beginning, it's probably going to be like that. But as you actually begin to learn, grow, and develop, you're going to learn that if you really want to grow, you're going to have some extra hands, or else you're going to be limited because you can only do so much by yourself. in a certain given time without burning yourself out. And you don't know everything. So the time that you're spending trying to do it yourself, the time that you're spending trying to learn a platform, you can literally pay somebody who is an expert at that to knock it out in half of the time. Knock it out in a couple of days while you go on about your life. Delegation and outsourcing is absolutely necessary, especially for women and especially if you have children. Black women, we tend to try to do everything ourselves. And I really believe that it's cultural because many of us are taught growing up that you got to take care of business. A lot of us grow up seeing our mothers handle it. We grow up seeing the women in our family handle it. And we take on that same responsibility. And as we start and grow our businesses, we take that same attitude into our businesses only to find that it's limiting and only to find that it's toxic in a way and only to find that it doesn't work. You cannot be a do-it-all-yourselfer. In the beginning, you might start off like that, but even in my boot camp, I teach from the very beginning in my phase 2. Actually, starting at the end of phase 1. Now is when you're going to start delegating. Now is when you're going to start pulling other people in to help you with these things. And these are the people that you need to, these are some recommendations that you should use because they already know what they're doing. You don't have to vet them. I've already vetted them for you. I mean, like, it's the truth. Because while you sit up there trying to do everything yourself, you're wasting more time. When you can hire somebody, pay them anywhere from $50 to $100 and they have it knocked out. In the meantime, you done something, you going on to do something else. Does this make sense? Delegation allows you to finish things quicker. Delegation allows you to make more money because you're finishing things quicker or because you're able to focus on other things while you pay other people to focus on what they're great at doing. Does this make sense? But in order to, and you have to keep this in mind in growing a business. I had to think about the time that I was spending in my business and away from my family. I had to think about that. I had to think about the systems that I needed to run the business, the people that I needed to hire. So when it comes to pricing, you got to think about all of this. I'm like, absolutely. If my client can come in immediately scared because she's been working on her book for 6 years and keep hitting a wall, and not only does she finish her book in a couple of weeks, but it hits the bestsellers list. She gets 2 paid speaking engagements at $5,000 and a bulk order books. And I'm not making this up. I'm actually talking about a particular client. And a bulk order books. She done made her investment back in less than 2 months. And then even after that, she goes on to make over $120,000 in consulting contracts because now she knows how to articulate herself when she didn't before, and they bought books. What? How can I charge $2,000 when I'm teaching you a whole entire system like that? So I think that we have to really look at what we are providing value, really what we're doing. So what I do, I have a high-end coaching program. It's not a course. I have a high-end coaching program where we get in deep with you. We look over all of your assets. We coach you along the way. We tell you everything that you're doing right, everything that you're doing wrong. We literally look over all of your artifacts and coach you throughout the whole entire process. It's not something where you just pay for it and then you're on your own. Now, yes, you got to go do the work on your own, but then you can come and submit your work for review to get feedback from myself and our coaches so that you can make sure that you're still on the correct path. But these are the 3 reasons why I stopped selling $2,000 programs. I'm going to also say this, and I didn't say this, and this I guess would be number 4. When people make an investment, they show up differently. So with the $2,000 programs, people were disappearing. They would make a payment and then disappear, cut out. They would make a payment and not show up at all. But there's a saying that goes, there's a transformation with the transaction. So when people make a sacrifice or they stretch themselves in a certain way to participate in something, they show up differently. Because it's like, you know what? I made an investment in this. I gotta make my investment back. Or you know what? I made an investment in this. I don't have time to slack around. I don't have time to play around. I gotta get in and get this done. There's a transformation with the transaction, and people show up differently when they bet on themselves in that way. Like, let's be honest. You can go, a lot of people go and buy bags or go on trips for $2,000. They spend that on a vacation. That or more. Is there any real value in that? But when you have to come out the back pocket a little bit, when you got to stretch a little bit, it feels a little bit different. It's like, you know what? I got to show up differently. So one of the things that we do, because my programs are in the high four-figure, lower five-figure range, is that not only do we provide the pay in full options, we do payment plans, and we also have third-party funding options as well. So, Nichelle, I saw your email. I was with my family, so I'm going to respond to your email. Nichelle, I'm not sure if you're still on, but I could respond to your email after the live. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, even if your goal is to make, even if you set a sales goal of just selling books, 100 books a month, that's easy, y'all. 100 books a month at $20 a book, that's $2,000. After 6 months, you've added an additional $12,000 to your bottom line. Why wouldn't you make an investment to get a return that keeps on giving? Oh, this was what I was going to say. A lot of people get caught up on the upfront investment instead of paying attention to the long-term return that they make on something. And because of that, they miss out and they stay stuck. So, coaches, that's why I stopped selling $2,000 programs. And yeah, it was a journey to get to the point where I increased my prices. But I've been better because of it. My programs have been better because of it, because please believe, at the price point that I do sell, I had to make sure that my program was equitable to that price point as well. You can't just be out here charging high ticket and then your program is trash. You're not delivering appropriately. So yes, I definitely had to take the time. I took about a year to refine. I took about a year to actually look at the gaps that previous clients had, and I said, where are the gaps? What are they doing after they leave the program? What is it that they need the most help with? Let me add that into the program, because I'm giving the information in the DMs. Let me add that to the program, and let me give you all the templates, all the scripts, all the step-by-step on how to do it as well. So that way you don't get out here with a book and now you're trying to figure out how to sell it. That way you're not getting out here with a book and now you're trying to figure out how to brand yourself, how to articulate yourself. Because one thing about me, my authors are six-figure storytellers. I don't want them to be just the average self-published author with another book. They have to stand above from the rest, especially if they say they came from my program. If that makes sense. So I'm open to some questions, guys. I know it's late night live. Y'all are up too. Normally I'm in the bed at this time of night, but I told y'all I was with my family tonight. So at about 5 o'clock, I shut everything down. We went out to eat. We spent some time together. And then after everybody sleep, I hung out with the husband. I'm like, let me go ahead and go live. I was going to go live earlier, didn't get a chance to. Let me go ahead and go live, and those who catch it late or don't catch it at all, they can catch the replay. Do you guys have any questions? I see a good bit of people on. I don't see any questions. If you have any questions on Instagram, you can pop a question in the comment box. Hey, Ebony on Instagram. Zion's getting big. She just turned 9. About to go to the 4th grade. She sure is. Everybody's good. John is good. Shay is good. Jair just turned 5. Everybody's getting big. I have to send you a picture, everybody. Does anybody have any questions? I don't see any questions from anybody on Facebook or Instagram. Yep, she's 9. Let me see if I can find a. We took a picture tonight. Let me see if I can find a picture. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a picture of Zion, Miss Zion. We took a picture together the other day, I thought. Maybe I don't have one on here of her recently. Yes, I do, because it was just her birthday. Do y'all have any questions? Facebook? See, this is why I took a picture of my baby tonight. Hold on. Let me get you a picture, because we took one together. She looking crazy here. But that's her. Because she didn't want her brother all on her. That's her right there. Thank you, Ebony. I don't know how to get it out of. Okay. There we go. Yeah, she's not. All right, y'all. I don't see anybody else who has any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and log off. I hope that this was helpful for you guys. If you guys have a coaching program and you want to start a coaching program, definitely make sure that before you start increasing your prices, that you are actually delivering at the level that you charge. Okay? I will say that. Make sure that you operate in integrity. Make sure that you are being who you say that you are. All right? All right? I could say a lot about that. That's another live, y'all. All right, I'll see you guys later. Y'all have an amazing evening. All right, Kim. Thanks so much. Yeah, we just closed out. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Y'all have a great night.